Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, January 25th. Well, the blizzard of 2016 certainly turned out to be one of the all-time greats. It was actually the biggest snowstorm in several spots, including places like BWI Airport in Maryland, Dulles Airport in Virginia, Harrisburg came in, Allentown came in with their biggest snow totals ever, and in other places like Philadelphia, it was right up there in the top five, actually fourth highest storm in Philadelphia with 22.4 inches. Generally 2 feet of snow fell, give or take 6 inches or so, from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City, one of the all-time greats. Now we're monitoring our threat for Thursday night into Friday. There is the likelihood of another coastal type low pressure area. The questions that still remain include whether or not it'll back into the north and west enough to affect the I-95 corridor. Certainly are some reasons to believe that that is a feasible solution. Let's look at the short term right here. We have the latest map across the nation for the surface highs and lows and fronts. High pressure sitting right on top of the region here in the Mid-Atlantic region with all that fresh snowfall. Some temperatures drop to near 10 degrees in many areas along the I-95 corridor. Basically a decent day today, cold and dry with some sunshine helping the continuation of the dig out process. Notice out here in the middle part of the country, a couple of frontal systems. All this will kind of coalesce into one cold front that approaches later tomorrow. Temperatures ahead of the front tomorrow should reach 40 degrees in the I-95 corridor. That front arrives, could set off some rain shower activity late tomorrow, early tomorrow night, perhaps a snow shower later tomorrow night. Then it turns colder again at midweek, basically cold and dry conditions for the midweek, and then attention will turn to the East Coast. Well, let's continue to focus on the short term here, the frontal system that comes by Tuesday night into the Mid-Atlantic region. This is the forecast map from last night's 0Z GFS for this evening. And here's the precipitation out in the Ohio Valley, the middle part of the country associated with that next frontal system. By later today, we'll start to see some southwesterly winds, at least in the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, not all that bad of a day this afternoon with some sunshine, high temperatures in the 30s. But then it'll turn slightly milder tomorrow ahead of this frontal system. Let's now jump ahead to the forecast map for tomorrow night, Tuesday evening. And here we go. This is the forecast map for tomorrow evening. Again, a little band of showers, most likely in the form of rain showers into the I-95 corridor late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. Certainly is a chance that it could be a snow shower later on tomorrow night as some colder air filters in, and it looks like a dry but cold day on Wednesday. Well, let's now jump ahead to the threat of a storm along the East Coast Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll first look at the upper air pattern. This is the 500 millibar forecast from last night's 0Z GFS for Thursday evening. And notice an impressive looking upper level trough here cutting across the eastern part of the Great Lakes. And we'll take a look. This evolves into more of a negatively tilted trough, but it's quite different from the blizzard of 2016 that had a very powerful closed-off upper-level low. In other words, while there is some decent potential for a decent storm here Thursday night, Friday morning along the East Coast, it certainly doesn't appear as if it could be anything as strong as the blizzard of 2016 that we just got through with. And here's the forecast map for Friday morning at the upper part of the atmosphere. Notice this trough starting to take on a negative tilt. Basically that is if it's aligned more northwest to southeast than neutral or even positive tilt, which is northeast to southwest. Whenever this happens, surface low pressure could slow down and start to intensify, and this is the time period late Thursday night into early Friday morning that we'll have to monitor the situation closely. Let's take a look now at the surface map from last night's 0Z GFS. And here it is for Thursday night, that low pressure off the coast from last night's 0Z GFS model run. This would keep us in the clear. However, there are reasons to believe that this storm track on some of the computer guidance could back up over the next few days to the north and west. In fact, there are a couple of models right now we'll touch on in a moment that do have a much closer to the coast type of solution. This kind of bias in the models is evident many times in wintertime coastal situations where initially the storm is farther to the south and east than it actually ends up. So this is a situation that bears watching. Let's take a look at a couple other computer forecast maps. And here's the European forecast map for Thursday evening. This is on the Tropical Tidbits website. This is for Thursday evening from last night's European model run. Notice a much closer low here compared to the GFS model, hugged along the Carolina coastline here. So this is certainly a feasible solution. The GFS could tend to go in this direction. There are reasons to believe that it will tend to go in that direction. So certainly the situation bears watching. Let's take a look at yet another model. And here's another model called the Nav Gem, and it too has a storm that is off the Mid-Atlantic coastline, but sure enough has some precip going back into the I-95 corridor. So a cold frontal system comes through Tuesday night after a cold but dry day on Monday, and then somewhat milder day on Tuesday. It turns cold and dry again on Wednesday, and then all eyes will turn to the East Coast. It looks like a storm will develop near the coastline in the Thursday night, Friday time period, and it could have an impact on the I-95 corridor. We'll, of course, monitor that over the next few days. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.